all right. Welcome, and happy Labor Day to those of you that are joining us. I'm going to say welcome to everybody out there in Radio Land. Welcome to everybody out there in social media land. My name is Dr. Jenny, and this is yours truly, Radio Touchedouce 90.1 FM. And today we have a special invited guest, but I will not tell you who it is yet. So I am going to continue to play a little bit music. What I'm going to ask for you guys to do is to share the live, share the live, and we will be back with our hot topic that we're going to be discussing today after I give my warm welcome to our special invited guests. But until then, enjoy and share the live, and we'll be right back.
It's DJ Incredible. It's DJ
I say DJ Incredible Deposit. Voilà, solo bagay qui est, me disait, depuis le cabra. Ou pas les mêmes c'est, depuis le cabra. Ou pas passer chéri, depuis le cabra. Chandy chéri me dit, depuis le cabra. Gucci Gali me dit, votre médecin disait, depuis le cabra. Ou pas les mêmes depuis le cabra. Ah, me dit ça passé, déposé. Auto, chéri. Chachon.
It's DJ Incredible.
What you say? Gucci. What you say? Yo, Shelly said, like you said, mais non boudon. On va rêver nous frère, mais non boudon. On va rêver nous, mais non boudon. N'a frappé la chérie, mais non boudon. Gucci ou web, mais non boudon. Incroyable Lula, mais non boudon. Joue la chérie, mais non boudon. Moi tu sais, ça passe. Tabou, c'est oh oh. Mais le day on vous dit, oh oh. N'a bloqué chérie, oh oh. I don't tell chérie, oh oh. What you say, oh oh. Oh oh. Baiser, oh oh. Me tout, baiser, oh oh. On va baiser, baiser. Demi fait ta chérie, baiser. Demi fait ta chérie, baiser. Demi fait ta chérie, baiser. Demi fait baiser. Demi fait ta chérie, baiser. On va te baiser, baiser.
It's DJ Incredible. It's DJ Incredible.
Gouye, 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 Massa, gouye, incredible, gouye, Gucci, gouye, Chuta, gouye, Copa, gouye, Copa, gouye, Copa, gouye, Copa, gouye, c'est 2024. Chérie, moi tu m'as dit c'est 2024. J'ai dit c'est, moi tu c'est 2024.
Hey, leave me alone, man, leave me alone. I'm rocking with DJ Incredible. Boy food.
All right. So, the wait is over. Map di nou chak merci, un grand merci encore. Parce que you guys could have been anywhere in the world, but you guys are right here with us. So, like I said, share the live, share the live. And this is yours truly. For those of you that are just tuning in, my name is Dr. Jenny, and you are listening to Hot Topics on Radio Touchedouce. So last week we wasn't here, and the week before that I wasn't here. So I am here today so that I can continue giving back, continue doing what I do best, which is allowing you guys to have a sacred and a nice place to unwind, enjoy, and be yourself and let yourself be free. Listen, and on top of that, also be able to relate. So I hope you guys are having a safe, nice weekend, I always say Memorial, Labor Day weekend. And I did hear some stuff that's going on or that happened over the weekend. Well, not the weekend, today actually. And I'm hoping that some of these people are safe and there's no death. I'm sure there's injuries, but I'm just hoping that you guys please try your best to drink responsibly and try to maintain I guess what you're doing. I don't want people to put themselves in situations where they're not able to get back home to their loved ones. So, map di sa encore, mais map di li en créole fois ça. So, map salye tout moun kap koute nou, non mwen se Dr. Jenny, wap koute 90.1 FM Radio Touchedouce live. And map di nou an gran happy Labor Day weekend. Yo gan pil moun ki New York, yo gan pil moun ki rete la Miami, yo tap vibe na Hard Rock Cafe an yeswa. Event yeswa, as you can see behind me, the recording behind me last night with Kai at the Hard Rock Cafe was a success. It was a lot of people there. Pil moun enjoy Labor Day weekend yo right here in their hometown in Miami without having to, travel, spend money to go to New York. But for those of you that are in New York, I hope you guys souhaite que nous continuer faire prudent, boire avec un pile responsable, pas mettre tête dans aucune situation parce que m'tande yo te gen quelques situations. En situation qui arrive aujourd'hui, beaucoup fin tande toute nouvelle là, but it wasn't good news. Li pas de bonne nouvelle, but souhaiter pour moun yo qui blessé, souhaiter that they have a speedy recovery. But at the same time, pour moun yo kap continuer enjoy tête yo pour yo just faire un peu prudent and just try to pour yo boire avec un peu de responsabilité. All right? Pas faire trop l'obéi. Have fun, but have fun with responsibility and be safe. So with that being said, without no further ado, I have the beautiful Helen. Helen, welcome to Radio Touchedouce. Thank you for coming. I'm going to put your mic up again. Say that again. Thank you for coming to Radio Touchedouce.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And
I'm happy to be here.
I just want you to just tell the viewers right now, give them a little information about you, who you are, just so they know who that who they're gonna be listening to. M'vlo parler avec moun yo kap tande nou. So mabdou sa konya. So nou gen yon fan base, listening base of moun ki Haitian American. So nous gen pi fort haïtien. Radio Touchedouce son radio haïtien lié. So pi fort moun yo c'est moun ki parle tande créole. So n'a fait un petit cri English parce que nous gen américain kap tande tout, you know, nous aux États-Unis.
Yeah.
So yo gen moun kap tande sur Facebook Live, kap tande sur radio an, qui t'a vle participer, qui t'a vle connaître qui ça n'a parlé de. So quelquefois nous aller back and forth avec anglais créole là. So que n'importe langue ou confortable avec ou mettre parler.
Okay.
But m'vle pour auditeur auditrice yo connaît avec qui est y a tant de jodi hein, qui est qui sous panel là. So qui te moun yo connaît qui est personnage là yé.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. First and foremost,
Try to speak a little louder so they can hear you, my love.
well, thank you for having me. First and foremost, not sure exactly how to introduce myself. Well, my name is Helen. Born and raised Dade County. You know, Haitian American. I wouldn't even say Haitian American because c'est haïtien naturel moi. Papa m'se moun pilat, maman m'se moun no boy. Although I was born in Jackson Memorial Hospital, I still consider myself Haitian.
Correct.
I am a wife, a mother. I am a friend, a sister. You know, I am a child of God. I guess that's the best way to say it. Professionally, I would say that as far as event planning, and I do event planning, and I'm in healthcare. Not a nurse, administration, but I feel like I have pretty much a lot to say in regards to life, in regards to family, in regards to personal relationships, just based on experience and based on wisdom and knowledge. So it's just a regular person, I guess.
Okay. Map salye Edwin ki en bas live lan. Edwin, map salye yo. Yep, nap relax, nap enjoy, and map do merci pour comment too. So with all that being said, I want to say again welcome, and I appreciate you taking vraiment apprécié que ou là avec nous. Of course, ou dit son maman yé, son madame Mario yé, mais ou là avec nous 9h44 du soir, right? Avec nous l'autre kan nan kaban nous avec petit ou avec Mario. But ou là parce que ou senti que ou gen raison pour là ou voulez participer dans ça n'a fait à soir quelquefois avec station ça avec émission ça que m'a fait à soir que me fait chaque lundi soir 9h pour 11h avec émission ça nous pas émission qui parle sur politique, nous pas parler sur religion, nous pas faire nous pas parler sur sport et puis yo gen quelques autres bagages nous pas parler sur even gossip nous pas faire gossip, you see what I'm saying. Émission ça fait spécialement pour nous parler sur bagay qui tabou. Nous parler nous prendre série des expériences sur situation, nous parler sur lui, nous demander opinion chaque monde qui ça penser de ça, qui sont tap fait soutenir situation ça, qui advice au ka bay, you know, moun la ki nan situation parce qu'en pile fois moun yo kon ap écrit nous, moun yo kon ap relé nous, y ap di mais nan ki situation yo yé, ki ça m ka fait nan ka ça. So nous just ba opinion par nous. Nous parler sous ces des bagages based off of experience as well parce que ou kap di on bagay m'te fait experience nan ka di si t'es moins mais qui ça m'te fait l'emte nan situation etc. So we kind of give everybody a listening ear, and on top of that our opinions, our professional opinion, our opinions without judgment.
Yeah.
Right? We try not to judge because obviously if the person is taking their time to come on to a live radio show to express or talk about something, when sometimes some people's voices, is kind of, you could kind of hear somebody's voice and like, oh, I think I know who that is.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So some people are brave enough to do certain stuff and to seek help.
It's a safe space.
It's a safe space. This is a safe space. I always tell people that. So ça nous space ça nous fait li on genre safe pour que n'importe monde ka vinn parler ba opinion pa yo, OK? So I swear nous pourrait parler sur deux sujets. N'a pas si nous ka parler sur deux sujets I swear. But premier sujet m'a quitté Helen Helen or Helen.
Hélène is fine.
Hélène?
If like si n'a parlé créole, ou met dit Hélène, si c'est anglais, Hélène.
OK, Hélène.
Ou met dit Hélène. C'est le maman.
Okay, so en créole Hélène, en anglais Helen. So Helen. So m'a connais si c'est ou même qui voulait di moun yo qui ça sujet à so employé, or if you want me to break it down to them, but however way you want to do it, I'm going to let you take the mic. Mi konse pour ou mettre parler.
Well, pour assoir, nous t'a parlé et puis nous dit on sujet m'ta dit qui on sujet, it's close to my heart, and ça c'est sujet relation, mais relation comme amis. Et puis tout le temps autant de monde a parlé des relations avec messieurs, avec filles, madame, messieurs, comme ça. But plus souvent ou pas tant de monde a parlé des relations comme amis. And ça c'est sous pensée de lui, ça son relation nous fait un pile temps dans la vie nous avec moun sa yo, nous fait like there's a lot of times where we spend most of our times with friends. They go through the relationships with family, they go through the relationships with romantic relationships with us. So navigating friendships and going through that, and especially on a cultural standpoint, based on les nous grandis qui sont des amis. Toujours parents dit, oh, toujours nos amis, ou toujours nos amis. This is always something that was not cultivated. Nous pas apprendre qui gens pour nous bons amis avec moun. Nous pas apprendre qui gens, si c'est pas l'école, si c'est pas l'église, ou si moun n'a pas traité bon la caillou, nous pas apprendre qui gens pour nous agir bien avec moun dans société, si c'est pas famille nous. Ou comprenez ça m'abdoulan? So, in this time right now where we're navigating, depuis c'est grand moun nou ye, sous apprendre, sous ouais ou gen zami lò piti, et pi facile, parce que l'autre ti moun, gen de série de bay, ou pas passer. Gen de se bay dans la vie ou pas passer. There's certain things that you don't have to go through as children. So it's kind of easier to navigate friendships. But when you're an adult and you're starting new friendships or the ones you've had before, they're not necessarily living up to what we think friendships should be and how easy it used to be when we were younger, and it's harder now. So it's a subject. So friendships. I want to talk about friendships and just the different aspects of how we present as well as our expectations of what those friendships should be. Because dans toute relation, c'est des moun qui présent, gen, et puis gen débat. You know, a lot of times people say there's two sides to the story. There's your experience and my experience and the real experience. You know, three sides. But within friendships, I think for successful friendships, there has to be an intentionality behind it. C'est effort pour faire, pour ka kembe zamia, pour ka grandi zamia. So I wanted to talk about that. See.
Okay. So then, I think we'll try to focus on that. The other topic that I was gonna talk about, I'll save that for next week because I feel like it's 9:50, so we have like almost less than an hour to finish the show. So it's like an hour and 10 minutes, right? So I want to go ahead and n'a continuer avec sujet ça sur amitié. So n'a parlé sur amitié on moun qui que vous considérez un vrai ami.
Yeah.
C'est pas qu'un n'importe ami parce qu'en pile moun ka ami ou, mais on moun considère un vrai ami, un ami qui vraiment close avec ou, un ami ou ka relé famille ou, un ami ou relé en anglais best friend, or bestie. Right? We're going to say that.
Okay.
Let's just make it, we don't want to make it too broad. We want to try to make it as like, specific as possible,
Okay.
and not too
Okay, we can do that.
and not too broad,
do
because a
that.
lot of people's definition of friendship is different in different cases,
And that's the
and
problem.
there's different levels.
Right. Because a lot of the times you have two people having two different definitions of the same relationship. So, growing up, we hear the thing about make sure you understand that your best friend has a best friend and it's not you. So, gen des fois, ou kon gon bon zami, on base, on moun ou kembe nan kè, mais Jean kembe yo, c'est pas même Jean yo kembe yo. Ou ka, yon bon
Correct.
zami yo. So, even within that time frame, fok ou kompon nan relasyon ou gen, there has to always be the communication pou konen ki koto ye. Maman toujou di, on ba ite toujou di, mpa vle egare pou sa ki la kay mwen. Like, I don't want to be, I don't want to be realistic with what's in my house. So if I have a friendship, kon di, ki sa yo di kon ya na Delulu? Gen des fois nous di Delulu where the people, they're delusional.
Oh, delala.
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 Delala. Oui. Yo kon delala nan relasyon kom amour, but a lot of times ou gen moun kon sa nan relasyon kom zami. You know what I mean? So within even the whole best friend title for me, that's a touchy subject because I don't really like the title best friend. I don't really like the title best friend because you have people where they use it so loosely.
Yeah, there are some people
They
that
use it so loosely. Like, hey bestie, hey bestie, that's my bestie. But ou pa vive avec yo. You don't live life with them, Lo a passe by, le a passe by. There's not a communal thing with it. C'est just na show. Or m'kon moun sa se bon zami or whatever. Okay. But let me give you an example. We could, like you said, let's keep it focused on what people would consider the norm of what best friends would be.
Okay.
Okay, let me give you an example. I had a client of mine, and this is through event planning. She was getting married, and a lot of times what I find is pregnancy, marriages, and people say death as well, but I haven't really had that experience with death. But with marriages, with weddings, and with pregnancies, you see a lot of things where friendships find their developing stage, where they actually get stronger, or it shows why they fall apart. So,
Correct.
for example, I had a client, et puis li t'a pas marié, et puis, what do you call maid of honor?
Maid of
Marraine
honor.
mariage.
Marraine la.
Okay.
Marraine mariage.
So, marraine mariage lan, li komanse di, parce que the type of planner that I am, I help holistically. And what that means is I help you get to the altar with the least amount of stress as possible, and that includes everything. That includes your relationships, that includes your finances, that includes whatever it is within this time frame. You're able to rely on me to help navigate you through all of those experiences. So, for example, she was having problems with her maid of honor, and she was explaining to me how the maid of honor was not meeting the deadlines. She wasn't following through with some of the responsibilities. When you're lò di wapay marien ou mariage, se pa simplement jou mariage lan ou just vini. Gen seri de bay pou ede, moun nan kapay marye pou,
Yeah, wapè de moun la nan komanseman jusqu'à mariage lan fini up until that date. Yes.
You know what I mean? The honeymoon. They're sending them off or
Yes,
whatever.
correct.
Right? So, so there are commitments that was happening. So, pendant ma pala avec dame nan kapay marye, et puis li bien fâché, li di, this is to the point where li tapay fè an lot moun pou an plas lan nan mariage lan. Pou an
wow.
plas lan pou marraine mariage lan. So m pala avel, e pi on ba mte vle konen is ki seri de relasyon yo te gen. Like, what was the type of relationship, right? Was
Yeah,
this
was
a person
it-
that,
was it
let's say
somebody-
you weren't getting married. How important is this relationship to you? And after the wedding, because the wedding itself, all it is a party. So after the party, do you want to continue your relationship with this person? So she's like, yes, I really love her. She's my best friend. I said, okay, so what's going on with her? And she was like, well, she's pregnant, and that's another thing. Like she's pregnant, and she's saying that she can't fit into the dress, and all of this stuff was happening. So I'm like, okay, bingo, she's pregnant. I said, okay, so the stress that's going on with you about your wedding. Your friend is pregnant. She's working. She's stressed out. Have you checked on your friend? Put your wedding to the side. Great, but have you checked on your friend? She was like, well, I tried, but I said, okay, let's do it this way. I understand that you need her support, but let's flip it a little bit. So I gave her an assignment, and what I instructed her to do is pick a random date that she's off and just go to her friend's job and bring her coffee. Don't talk about the wedding. Because from that point on, the only time they were communicating was about this event that was about to happen in one of their lives. So the other aspect of the friend's life was missed. So pour chaque fois me parle avant, c'est de ça, comme si son travail était la vie nous t'a vivre ensemble nan, comme si ça t'est oublié. So I told her, whenever you talk to her, forget about the wedding. Don't speak. Whenever you see her on those Tuesdays, for example, those Tuesdays, no talk about wedding. Family, each other, how is she? So that was one meeting, and she had that assignment. She had to do that every week, and I saw her 2 months later, and she gave me the update. And the friend was excited. She was more engaged in the process. She was, because she felt like you're getting married and you forgot about me.
Correct.
And the one that was getting married didn't understand why she was getting so much pushback. So inviting them to see it from another side.
Yeah, a different perspective.
Correct. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not only the perspective of this is what I'm going through, but also realizing that I've allowed this event in my life to overshadow our relationship. You know what I mean? So giving her that opportunity, and thank God it was an amazing turnout. She was big belly at that point, but they were able to honor her as being pregnant and the maid of honor, and her feel like she could contribute, because at the end of the day, when the party was over, they became closer friends because her friend was able to walk through her, but she had to step back and acknowledge her part in the failing of the relationship. A lot of times it's easy for us to say, I'm going through this and you're not there for me, but not realizing my part and why you're not there. Does that make sense?
Correct.
So I have another example. I had a friend of mine who we were thick as thieves. Thick as thieves.
Okay, so this is your own personal experience.
This is my own personal experience. This is my own personal experience. And everywhere I was, she was, everywhere. Like, I was always at her house. She was always at my house. We always hung out together. So then she ended up dating this guy. And they had, their whirlwind romance. Whenever your friend has a new boo, you meet him and you're like, oh, okay, cool, whatever the case may be. So she met him. Long story short, he moves in with her, right? He moves in with her, and slowly but surely, a few months may have passed by or something. And then she called me one time and she was like, hey, you haven't come by in a while. What's going on? Now, mind you, I speak to her probably every other day. We're always on the phone with each other. I see her not as frequent as I used to see her, but I see her very often. And she had mentioned to me that she wanted me to come by to see her. So I went by, and she talked about the fact that I was not coming over, or she felt neglected because I would never come to her house. If she were to see me, she would have to come to my house,
to come to your house,
or I would come to her house and I would stay for like 5 or 10 minutes or whatever, and then I would leave, right? Now, my understanding of what was happening based on what she was explaining was completely different. She felt like she got into a relationship and I got upset and I started alienating her. And my mind, I'm sitting here like, she got into a relationship. I need to respect her house, and I need to respect her house. So there was the part that happened when he first moved in. Again, I used to always be at her house. He would come home from work, and we would go like normal. I'm in the house, and she's probably cooking. I'm sitting on the couch, we watching TV, whatever. Our kids were playing, or whatever the case may be. And he would just, kind of go in the room, and just kind of recluse himself. He would, li kembe call apa, li fin so travail, li change rad li lap tan manje a fini or whatever. He like nan cham nan, he just, he salye whatever. But that would happen so often. And then one time before I left, he called her to the room, and when she came back out of the room, she was not comme si mademoiselle pas trop à l'aise.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, okay, but li pa jam dim sa ki te passe. So I'm not stupid. Ou gen konya ou gen mesye la kayo. Ou pa arrete pou kontou ankor. Le mesye a vini, fok mwen respekte kay li.
Yeah.
Parce que c'est Kylie konya. M'pa ka chita la, et puis l'el vini la kay, m'a kakase la Kylie, m'a bamboche or whatever the case may be, right? So I was like, okay, when he's here, respect her house. Okay, and ben na we, na pale pita relem lo, get chance or whatever. My place in the relationship never changed, but because she had a man now living in her house, I felt I was supposed to respect her enough. So we had that conversation, and I explained to her, c'est ou même qui mène messie à la caillou. Now, at this point, you're pas comme marié. Right? Ou mène messie à la caillou. Ou ouais, li pas à l'aise lem la. M'pa mando quitte messie a. Li pa ka djou suspend zami avem. Mais, m'a fait sam capable pou m'ka. So, there's no tension in your relationship. Because I know map la. You understand? Map la, ou pa bezwen bat tête ou. C'est sou avec mari ou ménage ou whatever, m'pa fâché, mais si li même l'a fâché, c'est moi même qui pour agir tête moi. But she didn't see it that way.
Everybody have different views.
Well, not only that, she didn't give grace to her own experience. Because I respected her relationship, she didn't. Because if you're still saying to me that it's okay for you to still be in the house as much and he's here, you're not respecting his place in the house. Now,
All right,
am I wrong for that?
So I'm going to, okay, so now I'm going to intervene. So now it's my turn. I'm going to tell you how I feel about that because me personally, I want to say I speak off of experience, and the reason why I speak off of experience because I look at the situation differently.
Okay.
M'gade li en l'autre façon. Façon wap di oui m'ka comprendre, façon wap di que ou vle bay moun lan respect, ou vle like moutre moun lan que like okay parce que son femme qui nan kay avec mari li, yo gon l'autre jan pou ye m'pa ka just vini la kay ou ke n'importe le konya sere li pou mrelo to come and stuff like that. Mais yo kon gen moun, right? Yo kon gen moun, they feel like okay, how should I say it? I'm gonna just say this, not because I'm thinking it, but because I seen a comment where somebody said like, "Jean yo we ba yo, moun sa zami te la avant." You see what I'm saying? Moun sa te la avant. So si moun sa te la avant, nèg lan yo avec lan placé, ba konè si c'est marié, zan moun lan te marié ou si c'est placé ou te placé, but zami yo konè li te la avant. Si te kon vin la ka ou nou vibe, nou te gen like some kind of schedule or whatever agenda that you guys used to do. Oui, ba yo ka diminuer antikal, but like moment ba yo vin changer complètement et li anti jan déranger moun lan. Comment ça m'a dit? Parce que j'aime garder bay lan, moi son moun. Ouais, moi-même m'te allé talasi pour collège, right? M'allé talasi pour collège et puis ça son exemple ma bon. M'allé talasi pour ma collège et puis zami moi yo, c'est of course c'est Fort Lauderdale, Miami, whatever. Yo rete. But guess what? Même si yo te gon distance qui te séparé nous. But séparation pas déranger amitié nous parce que you know what? Nous te gen comprendre que oui, nous déplacer pour un petit temps, but dans même sens là, nous toujours communiquer via call, via text, you know, check it to one another, what's going on, you know, update each other. Oh, yo gon bal le map descend, mais qui bal nap get nous get ap ranger ko nous VIP bay ça yo pour lem descend parce que ça c'est activité yo que nous te kon faire ensemble.
Right.
This is what we used to like to do.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So moment, you know, ou descend and then I'm just saying, et pour ou ouais un changement, bah yo pas même gens encore, ou moun la ka nan même situation côté konya c'est pas ou même qui l'école encore et puis c'est un l'autre moun là ça veut dire on best friend on bestie konya c'est moun ça qui l'école et puis ou gen pour comprendre même si ou même ou te ka fait même bagay ça au côté ou te reme sorti à enjoy ou pas ka chita ou dit tout que ou pas ta pour bon ami pour chita pour ap di OK m pense que m ka toujours sorti avec zanmim nan parce que tout monde différent moi même côté m ka fait un schedule et puis me dit tête moi OK jodi an m'a étudier demain si deve m'a enjoy and then you know go back to my regular school schedule yo ba gan pile monde qui connait comment pour yo discipliner tête yo comme ça moi même m connait comment pour me discipliner tête moi et puis not only that m pa gan pile l'âge sous moi côté li plus difficile pour me pay attention in class parce que ou déjà connaît depuis l'âge a monter li plus difficile pour ka chita pour vraiment you know kembe bay l'école yo leçon l'école li vin un petit gens plus difficile so ou même comme mon ami ou ta supposé connaît OK m'a quitter moun là right pour quitter moun là du yo m'vle sortir yo m'vle faire this yo qui côté yo gen activité but si c'est ou même cap offrir côté ou pas penser like yo besoin make sure que ou OK avec l'école avant you got everything but depuis moun la a expliquer yo ba yo difficile yo pas connaît si m'a passé yo m'de gen pour me répéter this what kind of friend would I be pour m'a chita pour m'a pour sortir right I would be a bad friend.
Can I ask you a question with that?
Correct, go ahead.
Dans même situation ça qui qualité moun ou quoi non not even qui qualité moun dans même situation ça m'fin do m'gen problème by class ça yo a bon problème by you know I'm struggling and all of this stuff and moi do m'wa sorti pour qui ça pas ou pas invite moi pour qui ça m'pa moi ou sorti mais ou pas dim ça or gen bay kap passe na quartier or na cité or whatever gen bal kap passe et puis ou pas jamais invité pour qui ça m'fin do m'gen pas gen temps pour me faire rien
sorti en pas pédé
but no
sorti en pas pédé
but m'fin do sorti non m'fin do m'gen un pile problème dans l'école là m'fin do pas gen problème là
Capédio, changer, trying to figure out a different strategy.
But that's the thing.
Capédio.
But here's my thing.
But I shit I fais ami en sorti. I boy, I enjoy. Guess
Ou
what?
même qui gen connaissance ou dit ça.
Toujours a faire. Si on ne continue avec même ça ou te qu'on a faire.
But that's the point I was making. Ou même parce qu'on gen l'ordre ou gen discipline la caillou ou comprendre m'pa mette moun ça dans situation ça pour yo for them to fail, right?
Correct, because I want to see you.
Mais moun nan qui pas gen discipline nan, right? Qui dans situation et puis yo même yo dou m'a boto parce que quand y a senti ou pas nous pas bons amis encore parce que m'pa well nous pas sorti encore. How would you feel? Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the example.
M'ta sentiment rien. Parce que les moun là expliquer moi que mes situations moi me senti bay ça capable pour moi encore me senti que m'pa ka make it ou m'était supposé graduer telle année gèl m'pa graduer on un an après ça you know qui ça comme mon ami qui ça pour me dire c'est pas offrir sortir qui pourrait aider moun là c'est bay moun là affirmation
exactly.
C'est dire moun là yo sou vle m chita la pou m priye avon, nou ka priye ensemble. Si m ka moutre moun la, me ki sa yo ka fe diferent pou asiste yo, pour your car, parce que you have to remember, I was once in your shoes. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, if I was that friend, they say, oh yeah, let's go out, let's go turn up, let's go. I understand, you're going to côté dans la vie, and fuck, we're going to work-life balance, or school-life balance.
Right.
So, with all that being said, si moun lan di, I just need to take my mind off of some things, that's a different story.
Right.
Okay, but si moun lan di, ba yo pa bon pou mwen, I can't, mpa ka retain information, mte met etidye, matin, midi, à soir, but ba yo pa vle stick, yo pa vle kole, nan brain mwen. So it's like, why would I be that friend? Pou mchita pou mwen just...
Mais exemple là, that's exactly my point. C'est Sam Abdul là, c'est même c'est
No,
c'est
but
même
there's
point.
a difference. There's a difference. Sou wè moun lan toujou vle fè bay lan, that's a different story. Like mte kon toujou ap explike zanmim yo. Mdi yo, même sou wè m marye, même sou wè m gon on petit, at the end of the day, I'm still me.
Right.
By sa yo, they don't change me.
Right.
I'm still me.
Right.
I still know how to be a good wife. I still know how to be a good mother to my child. And I still know how to balance
Okay.
my friendship as well.
Okay.
So I'm gonna still make time for my friends, because at the end of the day, it's not just me and my husband and my child. At the end of the day, I also need, not just, I was gonna say a shoulder to lean on, but that would be my dude. But I would still need a friend.
Well, here's the thing
You see
about
what I'm
that.
saying?
Here's the thing about
I would
that.
still need a friend, and that friend, I always tell people, and I'm gonna tell you this because I wrote myself a note, and just hold your thought
I
on
won't
what you was
lose it.
about to say.
I
Don't
won't
forget
lose
what
it.
you was about to say.
I won't lose it.
I have 5 things that I always tell myself. What is a real friend to me? Parce que chaque moun wè zami en façon différent. Like si m gon bestie, mabdou what a best friend really is. You see what I'm saying? Because like you said, you're gonna pile moun dehors can use mo bestie very loosely. Right? Loosely. They just want, they see somebody have a best friend, they want to have a best friend too, so you're really moun
Son
la best
style,
friend yo.
yeah.
So it's just something that they just throw around. But pour moi-même, a real friend is someone who is trustworthy, loyal, supportive, and who accepts you for who you are. Right? Accept me for who I am. If I say, okay, well, yeah, I'm married, yeah, I got a child, but I still want to go out.
Okay.
I still want to make sure I have, the same way how you work hard, you play hard. I still want to be able to have that connection
Absolutely.
with my friends where we can still talk about life, where you can probably still give me advice, because you was once in my situation, being a new mom. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I could probably be asking you advice like, oh, my child keeps crying, I don't know what to do. And you could have been like, yeah, when I had such and such, this is what I had to do, this, that. So it's like there still should be that sort of connection where you shouldn't just say, oh, because that person's married now, I can't still be the same way I used to be with her. If that person is not telling you to back it up, slow down, this, that, then I don't see the reason why to do that. When it comes to education, I feel like there's a lot of stuff because like I said, it has something to do with memorization, with being focused, with being relaxed. But by you sitting there inviting your friend to go out, that's not really you contributing to your friend's success, unless your friend is saying, I need something to relax me to go out, and
Okay.
I'm seeking
Okay.
some kind of balance where I'm not constantly in the books. But when you have a relationship and a friendship, I still feel like you should still value your friendship and not just throw it away because now you have a different title.
So
now
I'm
because
hearing-
now you are a wife. Now because you are a mother. I always tell my friends, listen, let's still do our girls' night out. Let's still talk. Let's still communicate. Let's still do us, but of course with a little bit of change, like minor modifications.
Okay.
Of
Okay.
you see what I'm saying?
I hear what you heard, and what you heard was not what I said. Based on what you're saying, I hear what you heard. What you heard me say was, she has a man now. I backed up because I don't want no part of getting any problems with that. And she doesn't have as much time for me as she used to. So I kind of backed up a little bit. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. So I'm going to say what I said, but the point that you told me not to forget, let me go back there.
Go ahead.
You said balancing, right? For example, if it was me and you, right? Le nou te piti, nap grandi, nou nan college, or whatever the case may be. It was me and you, besties, right? If you look at, as an academic, you have a scale. Ou gon balance devant, right? Ou gen sous balance lan, you're on one side, ou son bo, ou mwen sous l'autre bo, right?
Okay.
So each one sous balance lan, ou sous bo sa, mwen sous bo sa.
Okay.
It balanced because it was me and you, right? Then I go, m'fè petit, konya se mwen même avec petit mwen. So it's a little more on my side, and you just have here, and we're trying to balance it, right? Because I have a little more weight, you're still single, right? And you no kids, but you're still my best friend, and I have a child now, right? So there's still a little weight. We're still besties, but I still have to balance my side out with my child, so I don't have 100% to give you like I did before, because I have to give some of that to my child.
Of course.
So we're balancing, right?
Okay.
Okay. So then you go and you get a boyfriend, right? So you get a boyfriend. I have a child. We're still trying to balance this stuff out. So now we have other people taking up our time where it's not really hindering us, because we catch up, but we're still giving time to the other things in our life, right? So then you go, you start school. You have a boyfriend and you start school on this balancing. I have a baby and it's me, and I have to have a job. So I'm doing this balancing thing as well, right? So we're trying on our own. But in that, konya 100% de gen pou ou deja. Mgen lot bay sa yo sou plat mwen. Mgen 100% pou mba ou de, konya? So sa pa vle di mwen neglije ou, sa vle di mpa gen tout sa mte gen. And it also doesn't mean that I am not willing to give it to you. We're both balancing our own lives while trying to balance ourselves together.
Which is understandable.
Right. So the idea of, here's the thing, a lot of people, they think about themselves in a sense that I have all of this, but I still need this from someone. You have to put into consideration your own life, because a lot of the times you're putting more on yourself than you should put on, right? So you're saying on this side, I'm saying, hey, I have a child, yeah, and I have this job that takes forever or whatever, but I don't see you. Even if you were still on the scale by yourself and had 100% time to always see me, I don't have 100% of time to receive you seeing me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Même si ou te toujou la pou mwen, m'pat gen tan pou m'te resevwa ou. Se pa paske m'pat vle, se paske m'gen lot bagay kap rive nan la vi, m'gen pou m'pon soin, right? So, but for me to say, oh, m'vle well, and then every time you're trying to see me, se ou mèm kap sispon so affaire pou ka vin wèm, but I can't even receive all of the attention you're giving me. Does that make sense?
I understand where you're coming
Now,
from.
that's just one side.
Okay.
Okay. Then you have the other side of, okay, I now have all of this stuff happening. So now this person is getting married. They're in school and she's pregnant. She has all of this stuff happening. And you have on this side, and I have on this side, I have my child, it's me, or whatever the case may be. There are different things within our own lives that we have to learn how to balance, because the amount of time that we had originally has to be renegotiated. the point I was making about my friend earlier, it's not simply that I drew myself away from the relationship because she had a man. I had to leave room for her to balance her own situation because I had all the time in the world. I could have been at her house all the time. Pas gen même responsabilité as her. Do you understand? But Lemna Kyla, I have to love her enough that I'm allowing her to succeed in her own. Because me being there.
No, but don't you think that that should have been a conversation? Ou ba penser sa ta like li ta supposé yon conversation te fait avec lui parce que pendant nous chita ya having your girls night out, ya talking, mais comment senti, this is how you feel. I feel like ou même oui ou fait décision pour konto konto di ma bay moun lan on ti espace parce que ou vle relation li travail avec moun li an, ou vle que li ka balancer ça gen pour y faire pour li ka get temps pour li ka be a good girlfriend, or for you not to hinder her in any kind of way. And I could understand that. Ça me ka comprendre parce que moi-même okay, I'm trying to see how I can explain it in Creole as well. I'm sorry. So what I'm trying to say is,
and you're right, a conversation should
a
have been had.
yeah, a conversation, because like I said,
conversation
mun
should
la
have been
te ka di,
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
right.
I have everything under control.
And you don't.
No, you don't know that.
No, I did. That's why no.
You don't know that.
I'm speaking of a personal experience. I did know. I did know.
And so that mean the person just straight out told you, this, that, because I can tell you from a personal experience as well, like where I felt like I had to, kind of step back from being someone's friend due to the fact that, there was no telling what the boyfriend was thinking. And when I say thinking, like, how sometimes some boyfriends that are narcissistic, right? You have these guys that, we talked about narcissistic men, and men that feel like they want to be in control of you. And when I say they want to be in control of you, they want to control who your friends are. Even though they know that you have friends that are already here, they want to pick your friends. So that means their friends' wives should be your friend. So like they try to keep it like that. They don't want you to be friends with, whoever that you're friends with, because they probably feel like your friends don't have a good, I want to say a good example for you, or whatever the case may be. But that's just what a person could be thinking. You see what I'm saying? That's just what a person could be thinking, to the point like, you know what? Let me just back away. Let me just have that person figure out where that person is with that significant person, because you never know. I always tell women, sometimes you have a guy that come into your life, and it is the truth for some situation, and it could not be true for a lot of other people. But sometimes you have a guy that come, and that guy is temporary, right? Where you could have had a friendship, a person that's been there with you that you knew prior to that person, you chose to discontinue or disconnect with this person just to be with this guy, right? So, and these are the same friends, these are the same people that the moment that something happens with you in this relationship, now you don't have anybody to run to. And sometimes that's what some of these guys do. They make you get rid of your friends. They make you stop talking to a lot of your close family members, so that when you do have an issue with that person, you have nowhere to go. They can sit there and manipulate you. They can sit there and break you down. They can sit there and make you feel like shit, because now they're in control of you. They're in control of your environment. They're in control of what your next move would be, what you would do. And that's why I always tell women, these friends that you have, they were there before the guy. You could always kind of see some of these women's intention, if they are for you, if they want your relationship to last or to work or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, a lot of your friends, they these are the same people, like I said, upaka just shita and say F them. I'ma just focus on my dude. And then I know a lot of women that do that, and then the moment that shit hit the fan, they looking for that friend. They're like, man, now I ain't got nobody.
And a lot of times with those relationships, it's not even that the friends left. Again, des fois, yo trois want pour y retourner.
Correct.
Yeah.
They too ashamed. They're like, man, you know what? They either told me this, or damn, you know what? I shouldn't have kept the distance between that person, because sometimes they feel like, oh, it's me against the world. It's me and that person against the world. When really some of these people, they want to see the best for you. If they told you like, hey, yo, I seen, your dude, doing stuff that he wasn't supposed to do, you see what I'm saying? But a lot of friends, they don't want to see your relationship tarnished. Just like in other situations, there are some friends.
What if the situation? What if you're in a situation where you are supportive of a friend, and you see that the relationship they're in is not a good one, and you have the conversation with a friend, and they say, I still want to stay. Like, this isn't a good relationship. And they say, I still want to stay in the relationship.
I've had friends that had situations like that. You know what I do? I tell them, just don't talk to me about their relationship. Like, me and you, our friendship can, continue as how we are. But when it comes to...
But you'll continue going to her house. You'll continue...
Yeah. I'll continue going to her house. I'll continue going out with her, spending time with her. I'll continue having other conversations that has nothing to do with her relationship with that person. And that's how we keep it.
Now, if you're okay, well, the sense of going out, you can't. If she had 4 kids, and by the time she had 4 kids, and 3 of which she had with him, and they were all under a certain age, so they weren't really going out, because you would go out and leave the kids with him. He was not necessarily okay with her going out that way. You see what I'm saying? So the relationship outside of her coming to my house with her clan, or me going to her house to visit with her, so il pas t'a déplacé, you understand? It was not really something that, and then she became a stay-at-home mom, and it was something like that. So it was, and even going to her house, it was, he would ask who came to the house, or who, so it wasn't just me simply removing myself. It was me honoring her situation by limiting what was causing her issues.
Remember, you got to talk to the mic. You sound very low.
Sorry. It was me simply limiting her issues, or me acting in such a way that would limit her issues at home, because he would make comments. So it wasn't simply I decided, because she had a man, that I wasn't gonna talk to her or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, he would make comments about, oh, well, you running after these friends, they don't have men at home. He would say this to her. They don't have men at home, and you're running after friends who have nothing at home, but you have all of this at home, and you're not taking care of home. So he would make comments like that. Or, him being physically uncomfortable, and you could feel tension in a room when he would come home, and I would be there, and it would make the whole situation uncomfortable.
And that's exactly the true definition of a narcissistic guy.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have those type, and for me, telling her, don't talk to me about it, because even in something like that, I felt, because I know what it's like to be in an abusive relationship, and I had a friend of mine who, she was so upset that I didn't want to leave, or I couldn't leave the guy at the time, she stopped talking to me, right? And she was like, oh, I don't understand how you could put yourself through this, or whatever the case may be. So in that situation, you left the victim truly by themselves, because you were so mad at her about her situation. You see what I'm saying? In that moment, I chose to exercise grace. Gen série de temps pour gen compassion pour moun.
And it's the same way. It's the same way,
pour
like,
situation
she's
pa.
gonna stop talking to you if you left him. You did build the courage to leave him, but you went back. So the person would feel upset as well, because it's like,
But
yo,
by
this is life or death.
By moun nan grâce.
It's an abusive relationship. It's life or death.
Correct.
So you don't love yourself.
and I'm supposed to be mad at you because you don't love yourself?
It's like, how do you
So,
expect
ma
me to
fache
love you if
avon,
you don't love yourself?
men, map fache
How can I
avon,
help you
map
if you don't
mando
want to help
let mi
yourself?
paske ou pa remen tèt ou.
But how can I help you if you don't want to help yourself? I'm
Who's
giving you
asking you to help
advice.
me?
Or you wasn't telling her your
No.
situation? How did she know that you
She
was
knew she helped me get out of my situation.
I thought you said she stopped talking to you.
No, when I was in an abusive relationship.
Mhm.
She became in an abusive relationship after I was in one. And she helped me get out of mine
Okay.
because she was that anchor.
Okay.
Même si Messi a pas jam vle zami pala avem, zami vin la kaim or whatever, she would always keep communication. She would always keep the window open. So me being that same person for her, madame jetel parce que Messi sa pa reme. C'est pas un zami pour 2 ans, ça son zami pour quelques années nous zami. You understand?
Mhm.
Let nous te reconnaître. We each had 1 child. By that time, she had 4. So this is through a period of a few years. You understand? But being a constant 24-hour friend to her was causing issues at her home. And I actually had to have a conversation with her. You're deciding to stay with this man. And one day, they went off and got married. She felt that she wanted to marry him. They went off and got married. And I said, well, now he's your husband. You're going through all of this. Comme si Haïtien dit ou mari même. Gen série de bail m'pa ka faire. Parce que konya se mari ou. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Konya ou di, map rete nan sit, this is my husband. Ki sa map di?
Yeah. You limited at this point.
Ki sa map
You're
di?
very limited at this point.
Now the
Yeah.
access I have to you is simply the access you give me.
Correct. That part.
You see what I'm saying?
That part.
Because that's his house. Those are his kids. That is his wife.
Mhm.
Ki sa map fe? Ki sa map di?
Like you said, you give me what I give you. So if we could meet each other halfway, then so be it. But at the same time, I always feel like it's a conversation, and not to just completely remove yourself, but to show the person that, like, hey, I do want to keep this friendship going on. Hey, I still do want to be a part of your journey, your life. I still want us to be like sisters, like how we once used to be. And in situations like that, I always like to tell people, like, yo, you know, conversation goes a long way. Communication goes a long way. And, you know, I've had talks with my friends, and I tell them at times, like, hey, I'm one of those people, I don't like change. Like, I feel funny about change. When I start feeling people changing with me, and it's not really all for the good reason, like, you know, if I feel like somebody was like this, the life of the party,
That's
you
funny
know,
coming from a person who's always growing.
and I know people do grow and people do change, but I always felt like if the person didn't need change, and the person was like this wonderful light shining person,
In your
but
eyes.
but then because they became in a relationship that caused them to be this, like, I don't know, like a robot now, like, oh, I gotta watch what I do. Like, I can't be myself. Like, you know, you're not even married. Like, this is just boyfriend, girlfriend. So I can only imagine, like, how you would completely do a 360 when you get married. So I always like people to be themselves. Like, I don't like people that allow other people to change them, because I always feel like if somebody love you, they love you for who you are. And that's why I said that was that first part, and I didn't finish tell you what the rest was. So I want the person to love me for who I am, right? So someone who accept me for who I am. And the second thing is like that long-term bond between those healthy boundaries, right? Because we talked about boundaries earlier. So we already know, you know, like you said, if that situation where I do become married, you was here before my husband, but it's still gonna be healthy boundaries. It's not gonna be like no crazy boundary. It's still gonna be like, okay, what we doing this weekend? Like, are we meeting up? Are we, you know, doing brunch? Like, you know, like we come up with a schedule where we still have that time for us, where we can catch up, like, hey, what's new, what's going on? Like, I heard you got, you know, you said you got a new job. How's everything going with the new job? How's the kids doing? Like, we still need that time. We still need that time, especially if we're not doing it over the phone, right? So you still want that face to face. You still want that connection. I still want to touch you. I still want to know that this is real. It's a friendship. That's a relationship. You see what I'm saying? I always tell my friends, like, yo, we are in a relationship. This is a friendship. That's a relationship. And so that mutual respect for one another and positive intention. So that's like number 2, right? So number 3, remember I said I had 5. So I always like to know when I can always count, when we can count on each other. Because I had a situation, and I can speak about that, about one of my best friends. And that's how I know for sure that, like, that relationship, that friendship is real. Because I had a situation where I ended up, I don't know, getting incarcerated, right? And I got incarcerated because it was due to, I want to say, it was a boyfriend situation. He vandalized my house, and the first time I called the cops on him just to escort him out the house, the cops did not escort him. They came, they walked around. These were Lauderhill police. They came, they walked around, they just looked in the apartment, and they just asked him, are you gonna leave? And the guy said yes, and they just left. So first of all, they didn't even come. They didn't do their job.
Right.
Okay, I asked you to leave somebody, and you seen how the person put my house upside down. So this is somebody that you're leaving me with.
Right.
And I wasn't in an abusive relationship. This guy was just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. He was just crazy, but he wasn't like abusive. He was like, I know he wasn't going to harm me, but because I didn't want him in my home, and because he vandalized things that my hard work money for, pictures, tearing up pictures, writing on my couch, throwing things left to right. I came home from work finding my apartment like this. So of course I'm going to feel as if where this person needs to be escorted out of my house, this person needs to get out of my face, right? So, and I don't want this to be one of those type of situation where I get a black man arrested.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I don't want that. I would feel terrible to have to put him in the system for when I could just have you leave my house. You don't have the keys to my property. I just want you to leave, and then after that, and I turn around. Yeah. The police literally just left him there. So I ended up, I guess, breaking his property, busting his windows. Okay. I'm like, okay, you want to mess up with my stuff? I'm going to mess up yours, because it really hurt me to that point. And then come to find out, when I called the police to tell them, like, hey, I called earlier. I told you guys that I had, a person here that needs to be escorted out. They came back, they saw the windows busted, and I basically told on myself, and I said yes, because they asked who did this, and I was like, I did it. And it was like, okay, well, we had to come back here a second time, so somebody got to go. And that was their response. They didn't give 2 craps that this guy was still on my property. They didn't take accountability, and it was the same cops. They didn't take accountability for the fact that if they would have did their job that first time, that this second incident would not have happened. They didn't take that account. Instead, they, took me in. So where I'm trying to go with this is that I'm on the phone with my best friend throughout this whole situation. She hears everything that's going on. She hears when they're taking me in. She hears everything. So this best friend, she doesn't own a house. She does, you know how to always be like, oh, you need collateral to do this, to do that. So this best friend basically did what she can do to get me out as soon as possible. And I think it was like a holiday weekend, if I'm not mistaken. You know how they always be like, and it's a holiday. Wow. So I can't remember, so don't quote me on that. But she did everything to her power to get me out, to make sure she called my job, to make sure to tell the job I'm not going to be able to make it in today, to make sure that she put her expensive jewelry as collateral. Wow. just so that she can help out
Right.
her best friend,
Right.
to make sure that her best friend didn't have to stay in there, knowing that my Haitian mother wouldn't know what to do in a situation like this, because this is the first time that I'm being put into a predicament like this. So she stuck her head out the line to do that for me. And like I said, these are the people that was like one of the third things that I said that's on my list here. Somebody that I can count on. Right? So that was number 3. And number 4 is very important to me as well, because I like those who offer you support to improve your quality of life, right? To promote that self-confidence, promote honesty, unconditional love, and to also help you progress mentally. So that situation where I told you throughout my pregnancy, a simple phone call would have been nice. Hey, how you doing, bestie? What's going on? Like, what is it that you need? Is there anything I can help you with? I know you planning a whole baby shower, gender reveal. What is it that you need help with? Like, I understand I have my own stuff that I'm going through, if it's, whatever it is that you're doing. But at the same time, I want to check in on you.
Right.
What you got going on?
Right.
What do you need? Because I know that those pregnancy hormones can be bouncing up and down, going across the room, just bouncing.
Yeah.
So what can I do to help you relieve your stress, knowing that everything is falling back on you, knowing that, a lot of times that you normally do these things, without very much help.
Yeah.
Where can I fit in? What is it that you need me to do? Even if it's after the baby shower, I can probably help you clean up, or whatever the case may be. What can I help with?
Right.
So that to help you progress mentally, that's part of that 4th thing that I mentioned. And the 5th one, I'm gonna say it, but after we take a quick break, because we have like less than 15 minutes left, and I just want to play some music, because I know we've been like going back and forth, talking to the point where I think I need to drink some water. My breath, I said my breath, my throat's a little dry. So I know you're probably tired of talking too, but it's just gonna be really? Okay, I love it. It's just gonna be a 3-minute break. So enjoy the music. It's gonna be Saint Vin Bum featuring Andy Beats.
Ça c'est the Guya Daddy, and I'm catching a vibe with Andy Beats. Let's run it. Come on.
One shot, she already took a big shot. Yeah, after 3 shots, tout a fait nous préfère beaucoup gunshot. Yeah, n'a bien passé du sous-feeling. Ma vie touchée au plus fort pour v'ler tout. Température a augmenté tout, et toute condition au rendez-vous. Comme ça, parce que on aime comme ça. Qu'elle fait comme ça, parce qu'elle mettait sur ça. Vini bam bam, vini bam bam. Ma boba guy brinca yesi. Vini bam bam, vini bam bam. Ma boba guy brinca bouillon.
Andy Beats again and well.
All right, all right, all right. And we are back. Thank you so much for patiently waiting. We just had to take a quick water break. And we are back. Helen, how you feeling? How you feeling? What you think about the discussion tonight so far? Is it
It's good. It's one of those. I knew it would be. I knew it would be a very interesting subject because we all have them. We
yes?
all have our opinions about how we think they should be. So, I yeah, I think it's awesome.
And like you said, it's our opinion. Like my requirements of what I think or what I feel a true friendship is, what a real friend should be, might not be yours.
Right.
You might not say, "Oh, I don't care about that. I don't care if she called me every day.
Yeah.
I don't care if she check on me, text me, whatever. I don't care if I hear from her for a whole year. I still know that's my bestie because we right here. You see what I'm saying? Some people, they don't care about stuff like that. But I personally, which is number 5, feel like where you can also test and see where that true friendship lie is when you are truly in a situation of need, right? And to see your friends step up to the act, step up to the plate, to sit there and show you, I'm right by your side. I'm here for you. I'm going to assist you in your time of need. You lost somebody. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of times that's what a lot of Haitians always say too. I don't know si Americain yo di men bagay la. Ba konen si Americain yo di men bagay la, mais yo toujou di le ou konen vre zanmi yo, c'est le l'amo. Right?
Yeah.
To see qui est ka camper bon koto. Right? Le ou bezwen yo.
Americans have one. They said when it's time for you to move.
When it's up.
So those friends that are like, "Hey, I'm gonna come help you pack," or "How's the new house?" Then the ones that come after all the packing is done, or the ones that's in the trenches with you.
Yeah, and sometimes, to be honest with you, I had to reevaluate a lot of things.
A lot of what I realize, a lot of the things that we put as criteria for true friendship, those are lifelong things to necessarily see and prove, because I may go through a whole lifetime and not necessarily have a hardship that would test the friendship. Like there's certain things that it's not until something happens that you realize, oh, this person was a friend. You know what I mean? But how about the crux of the moment? You don't necessarily know you have a loyal friend until loyalty is tested.
Correct.
You don't necessarily know you have a ride or die until it's time to key somebody's car. You know what I mean? So,
Yes.
But when you're living life through just everyday life, you know what I mean? There is a intentional effort. And that's one of the things that I see through all of the 5 that you've said is there's an intentional effort that is being put to continue the friendship. Because when you're continuing the friendship, you'll go through life's pains, you'll go through struggles, you'll go through that. But one of the things that I would invite everyone to check, and having a list is an amazing idea because it allows you to know where you stand, right? But I would challenge everyone, when you're making that list, make sure you can check off those same boxes. Because it's interesting to put on someone that you can't put on yourself.
And a lot of people put out what they receive.
They could dish it out, but they can't take it.
Correct. So if you giving me mediocre, then I'm probably gonna give you mediocre too.
And then when you have stuff like that, what's the purpose of continuing the friendship? Then those are not those friendships that you want to intentionally invest in. If you're feeling like I'm not even getting worth anything, so I'm not going to give anything. Those aren't the friendships we're talking about. Because even in the beginning when we started, we wanted to focus on those true bestie relationships. Those that you want to invest in, not the ones you feel like, you ain't putting the work, I ain't putting it either. These are the people, look, cuddling to along. You know what I mean? Like, those are the people that we're talking about. Those are the ones that you want to put the time in and to not only make sure that you're being invested in, by grass, by grass. Because at the end of the day, when you meet people where they are and you give them the grace for the flexing and the moving, and I said to you earlier, it's funny because you're a person who's always growing in life, in learning, in relationships. You're always in business, you're always doing new stuff. So to not want change, you have to allow some sort of flexibility within your own relationships because you're always flexing. You're always growing. You're always moving.
But
know
you
what I
know
mean?
what? And like I always say, I always find a median.
You flex, you don't break.
Always,
Well,
correct.
the flexibility is what makes you don't break.
That's what makes me not break, because
Yeah.
I don't forget the people that support me. I don't forget the people
Right.
that are there with me. That I don't forget where I came from. Because I remember going into pharmacy school. My mentor told me, "You see your friends? They're not gonna be your friends after you leave pharmacy school." I said, I bet to differ.
Wow.
I'm the one that's defending my friends, because I felt like, no, it's more than that. I'm not gonna change.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not gonna change.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be that same person coming right back out. I'm not gonna be no better than anybody. I'm not gonna stick my nose up. I'm not gonna sit there and act like,
You
because
may not, man, buy munyo grass that do.
of course there's other people that would do that.
Yeah.
And you see that happen. But I said, I know I wouldn't, and then they won't treat me what I'm trying to say. And they won't look at me any different. If anything, I inspired them
Yeah.
to do better.
Yeah. But that's
And I make
cultivating
sure-
those type of friendships that you're cultivating with people that will help you grow, not people that's gonna backbite or hate on you or do stuff like that.
Yeah.
You knew the crowd you was already around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, if I knew I had envious friends, if I knew I had friends that were fake, then okay, then I would say that maybe those friendship wouldn't last, wouldn't be, where they are today.
Right.
But at the same time, if somebody would have told me, I'm not even gonna say that. Let me just keep that to myself. But life
shows
just,
you.
life just shows you. Life just be lifing. Life shows you. So even though I said I'm not gonna change, but you see other people change.
That's the point I'm making. You
I know. I kept my promise.
Right.
I know me.
That's it.
But other people,
Yeah.
they get certain stuff, and then they just different. It's not the same person that you once knew. And then I'm just sitting here looking like, what has changed? What has brought us to this?
Yeah.
If somebody would have told me that we would have been the way that we are right now, to where like you're a totally different person right now, to where there's no love, support, where there's no communication, I would have never thought that, right?
But then there's the growing and grow. Like, for example, even as a parent, we're both new moms, right? Even as a parent, and I was looking at photos of my baby the other day, and you know how the album, it always sends you, hey, this happened a year ago, this happened, it always sends you those little things. So I was looking at the baby, and I'm looking at her face when she came from the hospital, and when she was 6 months, and when she was 1, and when she started learning to walk. And I'm looking at her face now, and I'm like, this child has been several different people with me throughout. But imagine if I only loved the newborn version of her, and I didn't allow myself to grow with this version of her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's the same as even in marriages. Any successful marriage will tell you, who's been married a long time, I've been married to several different people. My wife has been she was somebody in her 20s, she was somebody in her 30s, she was, and my husband was this person when he had, but they grew together. So
Correct.
it's that ebb and flow in relationships, and that grace and that flexing that allows relationships. When you say things don't change, you should have your consonant to say, what I don't want to change is us, in a sense that it's me and it's you. Everything else can change, meaning we can add to our family. We can add, like, for example, when my mother passed away, it was me and my 2 sisters and our 4 kids. Now it is me, my 2 sisters, our significant others, more kids. Like that small family of how
Just
many people-
grew.
It has grown. right? But the constant is we're here and we're together. So you can have your constant as I don't want to change that we're growing together and I want us to keep, but let's flex with each other so that we can make room for those places where you grow and I grow, where that ebb and flow of the relationship. So there that flexibility and that grace within the relationship, because sometimes you may not have no grace for yourself, and that friend has to be like, hey, and I remember telling a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, we've been friends since we were like 11 years old, and we've had to learn that ebb and flow. And she was going through some stuff, and I remember just having a conversation with her. I was like, first of all, stop talking about my friend like that. She was giving herself no grace, and I got upset with her. And I'm like, you talk about, like, you're talking about yourself, but you're talking about my friend. And I'm taking offense to you talking about my friend, like, because she's this and she's this and she's this, and give yourself grace. You just finished this. And she was going through nursing school. She went through a new job. She was, issues with her relationship. And she was just feeling like, oh my God. And I'm like, hey, she's been through a lot. So you're going to stop talking about her like that,
Yeah.
But giving grace to yourself and allowing others to give you grace, but giving grace to others as well. So it's that ebb and flow of relationships,
Correct. And I want to also mention something. I like what you said, but what I also like to make a lot of people aware is that there's different levels and different kind of friendships. I always tell people, listen, yeah, I may have a lot of friends, but you got to understand there's different friends for different things, right? I realized growing up, I had my school friends, right? So these were my school friends when I was in school. These were the people that I vibed with. These were the people that got me through school. These were the people that had a lot to relate to me at that time because I was in school. We were going through that struggle at the same time. And then I had my party friends, right? The ones that, like, yeah, this is what we like to do. We like to turn up. My camera. So these were my turn up friends. Right. And then I would have my church friends. And then I would have my friends. I'm trying to think what other friends, what other kind of friends I had. But I had other different friends for different occasions, for different situations, for different situations. And I always tell myself I had different friends in all different walks of life. But at least I knew what type of friend that was. Some people don't know the difference. They just think everybody is the bestie, or they think everybody is
but that's why we
their
made
friend.
That point in the beginning to say we're only talking about this subset.
Correct.
Of friendship.
So I just want people to also know how to differentiate.
Yes.
What kind of friend that is.
Yes. No dululu. What is it?
No delala.
Delala.
Don't be delala.
No
So
delala.
know that zami sa ke wap party avec, wap enjoy, wap ale in a club avec, that's your club buddy. That's your club friend. So there's certain things you probably won't get as close with that person to discuss or talk about certain situations, and you probably might feel comfortable with that person. And then also forgot to mention there's your work friends. You got work friends too.
Because you spend a lot of time with these people every day.
So it's like whatever it is that you're doing, you end up making friends in all different walks of life. And I always like people to know the people that they're befriending, the people that they know that they're spending their time with, the people that they know that that they entrust with certain information, for them to not make themselves vulnerable. You see what I'm saying? Not make themselves vulnerable. And when I say making themselves vulnerable, is like thinking like, oh, because this person's your friend, that this person is safe. Because, a lot of friendships are not safe friendships.
But then those shouldn't be friendships. Like, we're changing the definition of, like, people, I'm not going to say social media, but nowadays, we change the definition on, if I don't feel safe with you, we're not friends. Like, let's not change the definition. Oh, you're my friend, but I can't, no, then we're not friends. We're not friends. And that should be okay,
And then sometimes, too, you may think that you're my friend, and I don't look at you as a friend. Right?
Integrity has to be an integral part
It has to be
of
mutual.
friendship. It has to be. It has to be. It
So,
has to be.
with all that being said, I don't know. We have reached the top of the hour.
This has been amazing. I would love to come back. This has been amazing.
I feel like it was so much that we had to talk about that I didn't. When I
it
say
was a thick
the,
subject.
the 2 hours has gone by very fast, and like I said, it wasn't even a broad subject. We try to keep it as specific as possible, and we still didn't touch on a lot of very important things that I feel like, in situations like this, because I kind of feel like the moral of the story is, when you have your friend, check on your friends. Check on your friends.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, if your friend call you the same way how you would answer the phone for your husband or your boyfriend, pick up the phone for your friend too. Or call that person back in a reasonable amount of time. Or if the person texts you, text that person back in a reasonable, not a day or two, not a few, not even a few, not hours.
I'm guilty of starting
Later.
a text and not sending. I could do better with that.
You got to remember, some people, they're thinking about you.
Yes, that part. And reaching out when you think of someone. When you get fois moun nan passe li do. Nan même moment ça, hey, how are you? Ki jan yem ta pense de ou? And leave it like that. You don't even have to have a whole
A
conversation.
full-blown conversation.
When
Sometimes
they
it may...
have time, ya repon.
Correct.
Si gen la. But pou fè moun nan konnen, ta pense de ou? Manke ou. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah,
important.
check on your friends. Like, step out with your friends. Do things that y'all used to do together, even though it doesn't have to, because some people, they do change their mindset. They're like, oh, the club scene is not me no more. But you can't go out to lunch. You can't do a brunch. You can't do dinner.
Let's bring back, just come to my house. Let's
Correct.
Bring that back.
Even that.
So we don't have to go to brunch. Because I'm not getting a babysitter. I'm not doing. But you can come to my house. Listen, I'm pulling up to your house. I got the car seat. Let's walk around the block. Let's do something. Like, let's normalize home friendships again.
Touche.
I mean?
Yeah, I
Not
agree.
just social friendships.
I
not
agree.
Just, you know what I mean? You want to have a drink? No problem, sweetie. Stop by Publix and grab a bottle on your way to my house. You know what I mean? So let's normalize that again.
Yeah, let's normalize it. But like
Because
you said,
sometimes that can be intimidating when we sit here and we're like, oh, I gotta go out. I gotta do that. That can be very intimidating too. So,
yeah. So in that situation, hold on. So in situations like that, I do agree with you, but then I remember you mentioning that, I'm going to put it like this. I remember you mentioning that when you went to your friend's house, the guy made it very uncomfortable.
right.
So maybe that's why some friends want to have that privacy, because they probably going through whatever situation they're going through, and they don't want your significant other to be part of that conversation.
But not everybody got a man.
Correct. Not everybody got a man.
I may just be knee deep in nursing homework. I may work a night shift and sleep all day, and the only time I get up is when I have to get back. You know what I mean? There's so many different. It's not just the idea of people having relationships. And we talked about the negative aspect. I know we're running out of time, but there are so many types of friendships where the new guy comes in. Oh, now I got two best friends. You know what I mean? Like, he's an amazing person. Now my guy and his guy, and we're just a group of you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's not always friction that a relationship happens. So I don't want people to think that because you now have a significant other, there's possibilities where you're now building a stronger friendship because this person loves how you love your friends and they support that. And so there's plenty of partners who are like that as well. So I don't want to.
And that makes it even fun.
It makes it so
Because
much
now
better.
you have another group of person to have fun with, go out with, and do things with, and like do couple things with, where it kind of spices up your relationship. with your,
And in
marital
those
status or
situations,
whatever.
hey, we going over to so and so's house, and your boyfriend is like, hey, okay, cool. I already talked to him. We were, they have their own relationship where we have our
Correct.
relationship.
That's a beautiful
You know
thing.
what I mean? So there's different aspects of it, but let's
But like I said, we could have tapped into a lot of stuff,
yeah
but due to the
the time.
limitation in time, and we do want to get you home in a respectful, you know, time, Madame Marie. So I want to say thank you so much, Helene. Helen, sorry.
No, you're good.
Thank you so much, Helen, for giving us your time, for blessing us with your presence, for allowing me to have this discussion with you, and for just, being relaxed. It's a beautiful thing. Not a lot of people can come in front of the camera,
Oh my god.
be themselves, be confident, be able to, like, dish out, important information because, like I said, we are educating, we are informing, we are talking from experience, or talking about other people's experience, talking about things that, are other people's expectations, because I know some people expectations are high, but you guys can always find a way to meet each other halfway, because like you said, not I may expect for my friends to be this, that, and the third. But at the same time, guess what? If I could meet you halfway, if you could meet me halfway, and there's, I'm at least getting half of those expectations met, then, why not continue this friendship? Why not sit there and still value the friendship that you and I have? It's just, you're not going to find nobody perfect, just like in certain relationships. You're not going to find perfection, but you still want something back in return to make you feel valued.
And capacity is something to always think about as well, but that's a topic for a whole nother day.
It's just like I said, it's a relationship.
Yeah, if
You
don't
gotta
have the same
compromise.
capacity, I may not show up the way you think I should because I don't have. If I'm walking around with a small cup and you're walking around with a large cup and your cup is half, but my cup is to the brim, you can't say I have less than you because I'm giving you all I have. You didn't even give me half of what you have. So capacity is a lot of stuff as well in friendships that we have to kind of think about. But again, a topic for another day.
Yeah.
But it was a
So
pleasure being here.
so
Thank you so much
hopefully
for having me.
you would bless us again.
I'd love to.
We'll discuss the more, in more details of the when and well, we already know the time and the place. It's gonna be the same place at the same time. The Touchedouce headquarters, every Monday, 9 to 11. But we'll discuss on the day that works good for you, so that we can either continue, have a different, a continuation of this same topic, or we can elaborate more, to talk about it, or whatever that suits you best. But like I said, I thank you. I don't know if you have any last words to say to the listeners, even though today it wasn't one of those shows where we accept calls. We just kind of talked among us, and we had people listening. But I still want you to know that probably next time when you come, we'll open up the phone lines to have people participate
That would be
and give
awesome.
their opinions and their thought process on what is being discussed.
Yeah, but it was a pleasure being here today. And if I do say, like, I would love to come back and talk about this, but I would love to hear about um, your listeners. I would love to hear what their take on friendship and everything like that.
Correct.
So, if you guys are listening, go ahead and put those comments in. Comment on the video. Comment
Correct.
on the show, and let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about friendship. What were some of the things you guys felt like we should have talked about, or
And you can
some
say
of
it
the
in
things-
Creole too for our Haitian listeners. Don't forget, we can't forget about our Creole speaking listeners.
Ça m'a dit, m'ta remè retourner pour m'ta parler avec tout auditeur yo pour m'ta connaître qui ça nous penser de ça nous te des sujets nous te parler hein, qui ça ou penser nous te quitter ça nous pas ça ou penser pour nous te parler de nous pas moyen sujet ça yo but pour m'ta remen wè ki sa nou te panse, ki sa nou te kwe nan sa nou ta pale an, epi ki eksperyans nou menm kom auditèr kon gen de sije sa de zami. So that would be something that would be really cool to find out. But thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure, and you guys have a good night.
All right. All right. So again, this is us saying good night to all of our listeners, and those listeners could be our www.radiotouchedouce.com listeners, our listeners that's watching us on YouTube or Facebook Live, and our listeners that's listening to us on 90.1 FM, and also our listeners that's joining us on the Touchedouce TV network. We want to say we greatly appreciate all your support that you give to Radio Touchedouce. N'a dit nous merci en pile parce que nous participer, nous tendez, nous partager live là, nous ba opinion par nous, and until next time, vous connaissez chaque lundi c'est rendez-vous 9h pour 11h avec Dr. Jenny, and from time to time on invité spécial. À soir nous te gen Helen. Helen te fait caporal. Il te fait une bonne intervention avec moi jeudi sur un bel sujet de amitié. Qui sont bons amitié avec ça nous en anglais les bestie. Qui définition bestie and what your expectations are of this bestie. So, m'abdi nou, again, un grand merci. M'apwe nou lot lundi soir, même côté. And again, thank you. Good night. Pa dormi fâché. Bisous.
Tande, ou kon defop toute qualité, ou pa jan pou gen foli chanje. Sak pa ramase m soujete, jamye a. Ou kon entre, ou kon sotim, ou kon sourim, ou kon kriye. Sak pa ramase m soujete, mwen pa kompren. Pou ki yo pa vle wè nan san, sou te sa yo gen misyon. Pou yo pale mal fò fache, kite sa mwen pa kompren. Pou ki la vi nou tèt an ba, pou moun sa yo pa mèm avokat, yo pa mèm fè konsta, yo senti pou yo kondane. Se ou ki pou jije, avan wale. Fò kou jije, avan wale. Pa gen moun ki fè konsta, pa gen avokat, yo pa ka kondane moun kon sa. Fò kou jije, avan wale. On appelle tout se glem, kon lem ble, kon yazen. Si on joue ta fè fè ma rime, c'est même ou même qui vous ta descend à la game. Kon bonjour, kon bonsoir, kon tout sa mène ti ou am. Même téléphone, me love lo prend, moi te la dem de beaux anti, moi non l'autre femme. Moun yo pense, ou ba kon aime, ou ba ga nous passer, ou ba go beloin. Chéri bagay joum pa blo, chéri petit bouche pampa, yo pense, yo ba kon aime, yo besoin nous quitter, yo ba remen. Chéri bagay joum pa blo, chéri petit bouche pampa, c'est vous qui vous jugez, avant wale. Faut jugez, avant wale. Pa gen moun ki fè konsta, pa gen avokat, yo pa ka kondane moun kon sa. Faut jugez, avant wale. Mwen pa ve moun, pa ve moun mwen. Pa fouye bouchou nan zafè, pa ve moun mwen. Ou pa gen job sécurité, jish pa nan di, not guilty. Chita nan yap vole madam. Depi ti le yo de pou pousse.